Welcome to Off the Cut.
Dude, I haven't touched any wood in a long time.
I want to put my face in that grass.
Or you're trying to make eye contact with a person.
And that's an example of it works.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad we got the explicit out of the way early.
I'm pretty sure my favorite part of that is I'm glad we got the explicit out of the way early.
Me too. I was just thinking the same thing.
Well, anyway, welcome to Off the Cut episode 138 for Thursday, November 7th. Yep, 2024. And the results from the election on Tuesday are in, and it's something we can all agree on. And that's that Cam Tools is the best place to buy your woodworking tools.
And Katz Moses is president too.
Can you imagine that?
I can actually. You know what? He does. I think he would make a good politician.
His speeches will all start. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
That's how they all
Chisels
start.
for everybody.
Yeah.
You get a chisel. He'd be like the Oprah of chisels.
Make America sharp again.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. I like that.
That could almost be like if like Calvin Klein or like a clothing designer went for it, you know?
Oh, I see. Different kind of sharp, but yes, I 100% see
sharp.
where you're going with that.
Well, anyway.
People don't dress snazzy anymore. And I say that as a person who's wearing a hoodie and jeans.
I'm wearing gym shorts and a t-shirt right now. So
we should have an episode where we get dressed up in tuxedos to do this show.
We're cummerbunds.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, if we crash workbench cons, we show up in tuxes first day.
Yeah.
You dress to succeed. Yeah. I'm dressing for the job I want, not the job I have.
Yes.
People will be like, what job do you want? Is it YouTuber? You're like,
no, I want to be a butler.
A butler.
Like, what other job do you wear a tuxedo for?
Yeah, that was the thing. You know, I got in trouble. My court mandate was that I had to be a butler.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I don't have any money, so the court mandated that I'd be somebody's butler.
Yeah. It sounds like a good premise for a TV show, like an NBC TV show.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than a show about nothing. But anyway, so head over to camtools.com because they've got tools for woodworkers by woodworkers.
Because if it's in their shop, it's in their shop, which means that all the tools are not just hot garbage that they could get for the cheapest price, but it's things that Jonathan and his team actually design themselves or stuff that they actually use in their own workshops.
Yeah. And it's, people like, like Bourbon Moth, Tamar, like Alma's got stuff coming out.
Strategic partnerships, they call those in the industry.
Yeah. I'm curious to see when Michael Alm's thing launches with Jonathan.
I know, I am too.
Wouldn't you? Now, I would think it would come out during like Black Friday time, but would that take too much? Would all the Black Friday sales make people think that his product needs to be on sale? Do you think that's why they're like, I'm not doing it yet?
Maybe. I mean, we should actually have Jonathan on before Black Friday, or maybe just after, to talk about what the strategy is there. Because what do you do? Do you want to launch a new product going into the sales season, and then you're immediately discounting this brand new product? Or maybe the time to hit is right after Black Friday, going into the holidays with the new product.
Maybe.
Or maybe they're still working on it. They're just getting it just right before they bring it to market. Well,
I tell you one thing that our listeners can get that no other, people out there get is a huge discount off Cam Tools, $50 off, as a matter of fact.
That's right. Well, one lucky listener.
Yeah. So every single month we give away Jonathan gives away a $50 gift card to kmtools.com.
And don't steal his valor.
Three of us are giving away $50. No, we're not.
Yeah.
We're a vehicle for Jonathan. All you have to do is sign up on patreon.com/offthecutpodcast and you're automatically entered to win. And speaking of that,
is it that time?
It's the night. It is the night. All right. I pulled all of our active patrons out, depending on what tier you're in. You get additional entries, right? So the lowest tier gets an entry, highest tier gets the most entries. Increase your odds by becoming a higher tier. But what I think is pretty cool is the past few patrons that have won have been the lowest tier, right? That's a good return on investment. You're basically coming out You're coming out on top by being a patron.
I know I probably alienate our top tier patrons when I say this, but I like it when the lower tiers win.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a good underdog story to me.
Yeah.
So sorry, top tier patrons. I appreciate you guys' support. Don't get me wrong, but
It's like Air Bud, First Strike.
Exactly. That was a great documentary.
Oh. You think the Air Bud dog is still alive?
No, I don't think so.
Let me ask you this. Do you think there were multiple Airbuds? Like when they filmed the movie, do you think they had like 9 different dogs that just looked
yeah.
Yeah, do you think there's rules for working animals where they can only work like 4 hours a day or something like that? So they just cycle in different dogs?
like a dog union?
I don't know if it's that they can only work so many hours a day. Probably more so that you can only get them to cooperate so much during the day.
I don't know, man. You got enough treats. The dogs will keep on working.
So you'll find this interesting. I did a little Google in action.
All right.
6 different golden retrievers played Buddy in the Air Bud movies. Do you want to know their names?
Yeah, of course I do.
Okay.
Sure.
We've got Rush, Chase, Zach, Chance, Joey, and Eagle.
Those, okay. That could be the name of 6 dogs that played Air Bud, or those could be all the members of a really cool boy band. Especially Eagle.
It almost seems like a 70s rock band. Like Eagle was definitely the lead singer or like the rhythm guitarist.
100% long hair.
Oh yeah.
I think we found our new tier names for Patreon.
Yeah. Definitely.
Eagle. Soar high like an eagle. Well, anyway,
Chase.
Tonight, I don't trust anybody named Chase. It's like people with 2 first names.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
Totally.
Anyway. Tonight we're giving away that $50 gift card. So I've downloaded all the Patreon supporters' names, put it in an Excel sheet. It's going to randomize everything. How many times do you want me to refresh it?
Well, I'd say there's 3 of us, so you refresh 3 times.
First one, not a winner, Dadu.
Ooh, I got a story about Dadu.
Yeah.
When we're done.
Second one, not a winner, Corey Duvall.
Ooh. Another
Third
top dog.
one, and the winner of the $50 KM Tools gift card this month, Chris Nelson.
Hell yeah. What's up, Chris?
Hell
we need
yeah,
that sound
brother.
effect. Do we not have that sound effect? The whoa, whoa, whoa.
No, it's in our list. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. But anyway,
Is it
I'm
right
going to
there?
Thank you.
Okay, Chris Nelson gift card. All right, Chris. Well, be patient. I will get you connected with Jonathan, Mark, and then Mark's the other guy on his team. They will get that gift card facilitated out to you. And if you're smart, Chris, there will be a sale at KM Tools coming for the holiday season. So hang on to that gift card. And we're supposed to get more info about that, but we don't have it yet. All I'm going to say is make sure to check out kmtools.com, sign up for that newsletter, and you'll know about the discounts as soon as we do.
We don't have inside information to share with you guys, but we do know it's coming because Jonathan hasn't responded to our email yet.
I would say would you consider it outside information?
No, that's just insider info. If you traded on this information, you would go to jail, just like Martha Stewart did.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, the first thing we should talk about is today's Thursday. We had to make an impromptu move of the podcast. No, don't apologize. Tell the people why we moved it. This is exciting.
Well, because I got free Maple Leaf tickets. And for those of you who don't know, Maple Leaf tickets are like gold here in Toronto. You go to a Columbus game. What's that set you back for? Like not great seats, but like decent seats.
So like maybe top of the lower bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Ironically,
$1.25.
Okay, that's more expensive than I would have thought. But these tickets are like. You're looking at like $200-300 to be sitting kind of in like front row of the bowl type of thing.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's also pretty hard to get Leafs tickets too. Like they're not as readily available as a lot of other teams.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Because they sell out all the time. That's why they're so insane with the pricing.
Which is funny because they were kind of like Chicago for a period of time, the Blackhawks, where they sucked, but they still sold out the arena every single night.
They're
having a year though.
They are, yeah, they're having a pretty good season so far. But this is what they do. This is the emotional abuse that every Toronto fan goes through, and it's why I don't really watch that much hockey. Is they start the season strong every single year. Everybody gets all ramped up like, this is our year. We're going to do it. We're going all the way. And then they just, somewhere in the season, they lose steam and they just crap out.
It sounds like Dallas Cowboy fans.
Yeah.
They got the cheerleaders, though.
True. There's no cheerleaders in hockey, which is unfortunate.
Well, we got the Blue Jackets games. We got the Mountain Dew squad or something.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
But it's funny because over the years they've definitely changed the people that they hire, because it definitely used to be like a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader kind of thing, and now it's just, I mean, the ages are all over the place. Like you're like, okay, I mean, it's fine, it's fine, but like I feel like their marketing team definitely departed from the original idea that they were going for.
I don't know that they're hired either.
No, these people get paid. They get paid.
Do they get paid? Right.
Yeah, we had a friend in college that she did it. She was a waitress at Rooster's Wings, and then was also a
Rooster's Wings. I'm assuming that's like a Hooters.
Yeah, it's kind of like
a type of.
Yeah, but it's kind of like Hooters, but with more clothing.
Okay.
You're there for the food. You're not there for the scenery.
Oh, okay.
Or both.
All right.
Yeah.
Or both. Yeah.
Well, anyway, this one's getting off the rails. How was the game? Did they win?
They did. They crushed Boston, which was fun because there's a little bit of a rivalry there with Toronto and Boston, so that was fun. 4-0.
Oh, good game.
Yeah.
Now, how much does a beer run you at a Toronto sports event?
$25 for a single beer.
Okay, and that's what a regular 12-ounce can is like 375 milliliters.
It was more than that. These were like big cans. These were more than a tall boy. So I think they were like 20-ounce cans or something.
Okay, so a 350 milliliter is a 12-ounce can. So a 12-ounce is like the standard in the US.
So this would have been a 24-ounce can for $25 then.
That's a lot. Even here, like if I go to a Jackets game and get what they call it, 750 milliliters or something, 800 milliliters.
Yeah.
That would probably run me 16 to 18, probably 16 though.
I mean, probably pretty close by the time you do all the like conversion math and stuff like that.
That's true.
Honestly, at this point, it's more fun for me than anything. Like you go to one of the, I think I paid, the worst I ever paid was actually Fenway. Speaking of Boston, was I got a beer and I got a lobster roll sandwich in Fenway Park.
I bet it was $50.
By the time all the conversion and stuff was done, it was $80.
What?
Canadian. I think it was like, God, who knows? It was like $35 for the lobster roll and then like 15 or 16 for the beer. And then by the time you do all the fees and stuff like that. And by the way, this was the worst lobster roll I have ever had. It was a piece of white bread, like Texas toast, and then with some like lobster put in there and then folded on itself.
Lobster or lobster?
It was an imitation.
Good question. I mean, it's a seaside town, so I'm hoping it's at least real lobster, but you never really know.
Yeah. Whatever you do, if you're ever, down on the Jersey Shore or whatever, in the Hamptons, and you see lobster traps, don't pick them up, man. The game warden's going to come to your place and arrest you. Yeah, it'll happen.
Lobster used to be like poor people food.
I know. It was served to the peasants.
Yeah, exactly. And then at a certain point, it became rich man food. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sea bugs. Yeah. It's kind of creepy.
There's one smart peasant over in the corner going, "Ooh, this is so good. You don't want it. Trust me."
Yeah.
What if they just overcooked the daylights out of it, right? And it was
maybe.
You know,
Yeah, it gets all
because
like
a bad
spongy and
lobster
weird.
is bad.
That is true. How do you
Because
guys do with
a bad hamburger is still good.
True. Bad pizza is still good. Yeah, that's true. That it is one of those foods where if you screw it up, then it's almost inedible.
Yeah. Same with scallops and shrimp.
Agree. Seafood in general is pretty risky. Puffer fish, if it's not prepared well, you die.
What do you think about next Workbench Con? We bring like a hot plate and just set up like a cooking station in the lobby.
I'm down for it. So, and then we don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to go out for dinner. We can just have a little hibachi grill and people will come to us.
Oh, that'd be sick. We could do the thing where we pour the vodka in people's mouths and like throw the shrimp.
Yeah, we like
shrimp tails
throwing the
pocket.
knives in the air.
I think as long as we buy the liquor from the bar, they probably won't have a problem with it.
No,
that's true. No. You know what? Say what you will about that hotel, but they are pretty accommodating to us as a crowd. Like we get pretty rowdy. We trash that lobby every single year, and they still have us back. And they don't even complain when we're out there till like 3 a.m. screaming.
Well, no, it's because we help them clean up. The last year we were up and we were like helping the staff like clean up at the end of the night.
Like 3 in the morning.
Spearheaded that. Was that Sean Kirsch? Was he the one who was like, "Guys, we got to start cleaning"? Can't remember what that was.
It was pretty late though. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning when that happened.
Oh, definitely.
Well, anyway, so we got the Leafs game was good. That's why we moved it to Thursday, but it actually worked well because I was waiting on this new microphone. So if I sound different, hopefully less echoey. I still haven't gotten any sound treatment in here or whatnot, but decided to take the plunge and get a new microphone because it was on sale. It was like, it's like $50 off or something like that.
Okay. How much? What was the sticker price on that bad boy? Because I know the Shure mics aren't super cheap.
Yeah, so I'll look up. I got a Shure SM7B microphone. It's usually $500.
Ooh.
And I don't know what I paid for it. Hold on.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm looking at it. The in Canada it's $485, so that's not too bad. Did you have to get
it's
like
$359 right now?
Yeah, $359.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I got for $359. So I was just kind of screwing around looking at them just out of curiosity, and I was like, that's a pretty good deal. So I decided to pull the trigger on it. I did a lot of research and stuff. I know tons of folks have this microphone.
Yeah.
And so far so good. It's different. It's a XLR mic.
That's what I was going to ask. So now you have to have an audio interface too, right?
So for people that don't know, it's real big and chunky. If you're watching the YouTube stream, you can see it. It's the size of a hot dog. It's pretty chunky. So then I asked Keith Johnson. I was like, "Hey, dude, I know you've got like one of these mics or whatever. What are you running? Like, because you have to plug it into a preamp.
Yeah.
What it does, I have no idea. But I know that you need it.
I think the signal that comes off it is like super quiet, so then it needs to be amplified, I guess, before
I thought it was converting from analog to digital.
Okay. Maybe. Well, look, none of us know. We're all just speculating.
So anyway, you buy this microphone. You then have to plug in this massive cable into this box. And this box has got a bunch of dials and switches and
Scott Walsh is chiming in. He says that it does both. So look at that. We're all right.
Okay. Hey, look at our guesses. I was like, I should text Scott. But then I was like, Scott's going to make me buy something that's way too expensive.
Is like a $350 one?
Yeah.
I know. He's like,
just the $9,000 setup you got to get.
When I drove down to Buffalo and New York with Scott, he's kind of talking a little bit of trash about the Shure SM7B. He's like, oh, that's the one everybody gets because they think it's so great, but it's not actually.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Scott, I'm curious to know, Scott, you're listening right now. Tell me what mic and amp or preamp setup you would have made me buy or suggested.
I
Keep
wish
it
what we could
under $1,000. Keep it under $1,000.
I wish we could do like an A/B comparison right now to your old microphone and see if it's any different.
Yeah. See, I think doing it over like StreamYard like this over the internet, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. I think it's way better when you're recording like audio locally on videos than it does over StreamYard and stuff.
Yeah, it's
StreamYard. Yeah, StreamYard definitely compresses it and it filters it a little bit too. So they're doing their own stuff on their end to it, and they kind of try and equalize us all out together as well.
Yeah.
So Scott chimed in. He said he would probably recommend the same mic.
Okay.
And the Focusrite Scarlett interfaces. So I think that's what. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I got. Keith recommended one to me, but it was the.
You think Keith got his recommendation from Scott?
I don't know. No, Keith recommended something different. Hold on, let's see if I can find it. But I went on Amazon and it was going to take like a week or two to get to me. So I was like, whatever. The Scarlett one seems like it was a pretty good choice. Hold on.
Man, I have been absolutely destroyed by Amazon next day shipping. If a website quotes me anything more than like 2 days to get something, I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah.
I won't even order it.
Sometimes I'll pay a couple dollars more to get it on Amazon because it ships the next day.
Yeah, totally. Because a lot of websites, it's like you just don't know. They won't even give you a shipping estimate. They'll be like, it'll come when it comes. And you're like, well, does that mean a month? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Oh, so Scott said I would have got the same mic quality out of a Shure SM58. I don't know.
Ooh, maybe I'll get that. That's a
like
little
the classic microphone look, like a stand-up comic would be talking into.
Oh, okay.
Be good for doing the podcast. Fair. See, I found it a little jarring when I was making my videos to go from like the lavalier mic that I'm using now to like a more deep, like bassy sounding voice that you get out of one of those condenser mic. I think that's a condenser mic. I could be screwing that up. But the switch between the two was kind of jarring. I was like, well, I'm not going to bring a big, nice microphone like that into the shop with me. Yeah. So, but yours, I listened to a lot of your videos, Eric. I guess you do less A-roll.
Yeah, I don't talk to the camera as much.
Yeah, I think I have a little bit more A-roll in my videos where I'm talking directly to the camera. So there's more chance for you to like hear the difference between. So maybe that's,
Have you considered, not that I think you need to, but have you considered like really dialing up, amping up and getting like a top of the line wireless lav mic?
I've considered it. I have considered it. But I think the problem with it is even the expensive ones are going to be it's going to sound different, right? Because it's like such a small little microphone and the placement is like suboptimal. So
yeah, it's you feel like you've kind of got to the point of diminishing returns where you absolutely could get better, quote unquote, but it's like, how much better are you really getting?
Yeah, I don't know that it would make... If people complained on my videos like, hey, your audio quality sucks, I'd be more concerned with it, but I've never really gotten that feedback, so I'm like, it must be good enough.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, that's kind of how I felt about my previous microphone. I was just like, well, I don't know, it's a good deal. It'd be nice just to... I know that now I'm definitely not going to upgrade on anything.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it is always fun to do a little upgrade to your setup, right? Let's be real.
Got the boom arm, so now I can move my hands. I don't have the tripod holding anything up. I ordered a webcam. I think it was a nice webcam. It's some Logitech something or other.
Logitech one. They've been selling, I bet you, what's it called? There is like the Logitech webcam.
Brio
4K.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. So they have a new one now because I was thinking of this C920X.
Oh,
I think, which they've been selling for a long ass time, but looks like maybe they have actually finally designed a new webcam.
I think I got the newest one. It says Logitech Brio 4K webcam.
Okay.
Cool. it was on sale for 147. So I was like, all right, well.
So what you're saying is the stream is going to look a lot better going forward.
Maybe. Well, it'll be like, at a good level, so you're not getting the chin view or whatever.
I have my camera like pointed down at me right now.
I know. I think it looks better than looking at my chin the whole time.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, so I got one of these boom arm things. I ordered one that people had recommended. It was the blue microphone compass, and I hated it. No matter what I did to the tension, I would like move the arm up, and then my microphone would just float away.
Oh, yeah.
The lowest amount of tension.
Yes, I have the same one, and I have the exact same problem. Somebody told me I should send it back to blue, but it's been like 2 years at this point, so I don't think they're going to do anything. So the one you got right now, because I actually use a boom arm also as like another mount for my camera. Like if I'm ever disassembling something on my bench, I'll unscrew the microphone and screw my camera to it. For like a top-down POV camera, not POV, but a top-down camera. So the one, it'll just stay wherever you put it.
Oh yeah, I love this one. This is
eh?
the hold on, I'm on Amazon. This is the Shure Gator Deluxe.
Okay,
it was $99.
Oh, that's not bad. The blue one's more expensive, isn't it?
I think they were about the same.
Okay,
they're relatively close.
Okay, dang, I might have to get me one of those. It's pretty nice looking too.
Oh yeah, dude, I love this. It's super nice. Super nice.
Okay.
It's got the little channel to hide the cable in it and whatnot. I'd
recommend
it.
Got a little clamp on it too. Okay.
Where do you have it clamped off at? Onto your desk?
Just on the corner of my desk right now. I might move it at some point once I like renovate the desk and like get it all situated where I want it. But it's nice because I could just flip it out of the way and then I'm ready to rock when it comes to recording stuff and whatnot.
Yeah. Nice.
But the reason I brought up, one, I was excited about a new piece of gear and stuff like that. It's always exciting. But Deric, do you need a microphone? Because I can give you my.
Ooh.
What do I? Is that I have a Yeti Pro? What is it, Zach?
Yeti X Pro,
something like that. Blue Yeti. I don't know. If you're at all interested in it, Deric, I'll mail it to you if you want it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right. I'll text
Anything's
you.
better, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll tell.
Well, the Yeti. Yeah, I think Yeti X.
Text Deric. Okay. I'll remind you. I'll text you tomorrow. I'll get your address and I'll mail it out to you. Because I was like, I want to make sure someone uses it, right? I don't want it to sit in the closet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what mic do you have now, Deric? Did you just get like an Amazon one to get started?
Yeah, it's the Fifinity, Fifine, Fifine or whatever. Yeah.
Well, give it a shot. If you end up liking it more, use it. If not, give it to someone else or whatever.
Donate to a local charity.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send that your way.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Zach, I know one thing we wanted to talk about. How did it go with that video production company coming over to do the ad? We wanted to dive in because you thought it was going to take an absolute eternity. So tell us about the whole experience.
It did. It took an absolute eternity.
Did you get like 9 shots?
Oh my God. Yeah. So we had a storyboard of like 10 shots. So a quick recap for everybody, because I don't know, did we talk about this in the after show?
It might have been. Yeah, it
might have been the after show. So I'm doing this like campaign with a local clothing retailer. They had an option. They wanted me to do 3 Instagram posts. And then they approached me afterwards. They're like, hey, what about if we send out our expert video production team and they'll shoot one of the videos for you? Like we'll kind of work on it together and then like they'll send out a camera crew and it'll be fun. So I said, yeah, let's give that a shot. So sent out a whole crew. I think there was like 7 people in the shop with me. And this is one of those funny things where, when you have 7 people working on something that realistically 2 people could have done, it's like the work expands as a result of that. Because we have the storyboard and they're supposed to just shoot me. Like there was literally like one of the items on the shot list is me pushing a piece of MDF through the table saw.
Okay.
So you're like, okay, how hard? Look, capture that from 2 different angles, and Bob's your uncle. But then there's me, there's the videographer, there's the person who's like supervising, and then there's like 4 other people, and they're like, well, what about if we did it like this?
Oh.
And Zach should probably be wearing like safety equipment in this. And it's like, okay, but if he wears safety goggles, then we can't see his face. Well, okay, let's shoot it one way where he is wearing the safety goggles and one where he isn't, and then we can decide later in post. And you know what? He should probably wearing hearing protection too. So let's do the headphones. It's like, oh, the headphones look kind of bulky. Let's try with just earplugs. And it's like that for every single shot. And it's before you know it, this thing that should have taken like 10 minutes to video, like, because I had everything cut. I had all the pieces pre-cut. I was like, literally all we had to do is like, show me pushing this through. Then I'm going to bring it over here to here. I'm going to nail it together with a nail gun. There's a lighting guy. So every single shot had to be lit. And then they were like, oh, I can see the reflections in his safety glasses. So let's just angle that light 10% more to the left. No, I can still see it. Okay, let's try doing it without the safety glasses. And then somebody be like, well, but in the last scene, he was wearing them. So for continuity's sake, he needs to keep wearing them. And it's like, this is a 30-second video, guys. Like, what are we doing?
Can you imagine how much the production company paid all those people to come out there for the full day?
I know. I was thinking about that. It was wild. Dude, we had craft services. They had like a snack table.
Stop it.
They did. They did a coffee
good
order.
Snacks?
Pretty good snacks. They did a food order. So there was like a lunch. And it was so funny too. There was a lunch. Okay, so we get to noon. We started at 8 a.m., mind you. We get to noon, and we're like, okay, we're approximately like halfway through the shot list. So we still have half of the thing to do. So we're in pretty good shape. We're at noon. So, and then we have an hour-long lunch, which is, to me, insane because, I've been self-employed my entire life. So I just eat lunch and then I get back to work.
But anyways, as you work.
Or eat as you work. So they have an hour-long lunch, and then half of the crew has a phone call that they have to take for an hour after that. Jesus. So all of a sudden, like, half the afternoon's gone, and like, oh my God, how are we going to get these last, like, 4 shots done?
Good Lord.
Yeah, so it was a lot of work. I think they're going to do a good job. Like, I do actually have faith. Like, they had good ideas. They were like, oh, we should use this motion into this shot, and it's going to be like cool transitions. But it was also like, I think me and the videographer probably could have shot something that would get just as much engagement.
Right.
At the end of the day, like you were just saying, like, it's diminishing returns, right?
Right.
Nobody's going to be watching an Instagram video and swipe away because they see the reflection of the light in somebody's glasses.
I would.
Deric, I would. But I think, okay, so is it overkill? Is it over the top? Absolutely. But at the same time, think of it from this perspective. You're with a group of people who really, really care about what they're doing.
100%.
And really value their craft. Like that's pretty cool to me.
No, and I honestly respect that aspect of it. They were being perfectionists, they were being professionals, they were working hard, they were doing their thing. I get it. It's just I guess I've become like a hyper pragmatist from doing YouTube, right?
Yeah, like, okay, this is stupid, this is a waste of time, move on.
Yeah, like and it's like if it doesn't generate more views, there's no point. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you could invest a whole bunch of money into like a really top tier microphone and like connect it to your camera and have like all these preamps that you carry around everywhere so your audio quality is just a little bit better. But that's not going to generate more views, so there's not really much incentive to do it. I
mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
I mean, as social media people, unfortunately, like that's kind of the currency that it's views. Like that's at the end of the day, that's kind of the only thing you care about, right?
The view economy, right?
The view economy, yeah.
Wouldn't it
But
be
I mean,
so...
it was cool, and I did learn a lot working with like actual professionals who know how to shoot a video and record sound and light a shot and all this stuff.
So was there anything that like you took out of that you're like, oh, that's a nice like tip or trick? I'm definitely gonna try to like utilize that coming up.
That's a good question. So much of it's impractical, right? Like I think the lighting was really cool, like seeing how, like I was like, oh man, there's a big difference in how this looks, like the shop looks when it's properly lit.
Okay.
And so like even just in terms of like clarity and being able to see things clearly, I was like, okay, I maybe could invest a little bit more time into like thinking about lighting and stuff like that. But I can't like think of like any tricks or anything like that.
Okay. Was it just more the fact that like right now you just have overhead like LED bars or whatever? Or
It was different angles of light, right? Like all my light is either from above or around the windows. You have that like side lighting coming in through the windows.
Yeah.
Natural.
But they were like, and I've noticed this, like shooting on my CNC, it's always really dark and hard to get a good shot because it's kind of like in the corner of the shop and the light doesn't go there. So they were like bouncing light off the walls and then into the CNC. They're like, well, it's in the corner, so we're just going to fill this corner with light, and then it'll kind of illuminate that area through all the bouncing.
Huh. So, would they bring like soft boxes and those like reflector panels and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Did you pick up anything you think you'll use in future production?
I don't know. Some of it was good, but it's just not practical as a single shooter, right?
Yeah. True.
Right. Maybe I think in the future, one thing I like, it'd be nice to have a soft box in the shop. And I know Suman does this a lot, and Scott does it too. They both have big like soft box lights that they can kind of reposition around in their shop. That might be something I invest in the future.
I'd considered trying to find a way to jerry rig, and not even a big one, but just something small onto my tripod. So like as I'm moving my camera, I'll have a light coming from like behind the camera lens.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be, it would be non-cumbersome for me if it was all together in one unit. If I now have to move two things for every shot, oh man.
Yeah. It's a lot, right?
Right.
I've seen those setups where it's like you'll have like just a singular pole that comes up. And then you'll have things clipped onto the poles at different heights.
Arms. Almost kind of like DSLR cameras, you can get that like cage, right? Where it has a bunch of quarter 20 threads on it. Kind of like that,
exactly.
But a tripod almost.
Yeah, exactly. So something like that. Like I've seen even other YouTube channels where a lot of guys will have like a light just affixed to the top of their camera.
Oh,
just like a panel light or something like that. Nothing too crazy, but then you have like a really harsh light anytime you're filming. So I'm not sure.
And it's only going from one angle too.
Exactly. So
you need like a spike, like a cross, right? Like the shape of a cross, like a addition sign, and then your camera is right in the middle. But then you have like your light like to the side, so you kind of get that like cross lighting. That pretty nifty.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'm sure somebody makes one of these.
With the big boy budget is you got to put lights on all your walls, just like vertical parallel lights, and then have them all on different switches so you can turn them on and off. And whenever they're off, it doesn't really look like anything in the background, and then they can be on and really flood from the one side.
Yeah. I have one wall in my office that I never really like. The camera just never looks at that wall. So I was thinking about making my own, like just a big panel that I put on that wall. That's just so I can just like turn that whole wall into light essentially.
Ooh, isn't it funny how like that, for example, if somebody walked into your office, they'd be like, what in the hell is this? But on camera, you'd be like, oh man, this looks great.
Yeah, totally.
Huh.
It's weird too. Like sometimes things like my office honestly looks very harsh. Like Sophie will come into my office all the time and be like, wow, why is the light so bright in here? And I have like cool lights because they look better on camera. There are things that look awful in person, but will then look really good on camera.
Yeah. I've actually noticed in the garage, I might have too much light. And I've actually had to close my aperture on my camera to not have it be overexposed. But I guess that's not an issue, right? Because then when I'm going into darker spots, I can just open it up a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you'll lose a little bit of that like shallow depth of field if that's something you care about. But
I'm going from like 2.8 to 4.
Right. So it's not like nothing crazy.
It's not like you're putting it up at like 8 or 9 where it's just like you have a pinhole of light coming through.
Yeah. If you want, you can always get like a little ND filter for your camera, but that's like complicating things, right?
So what tell me was an ND filter?
An ND filter is like sunglasses for your camera lens.
Exactly. Oh, and you can get one that's got like a dial, so it'll go up or down in intensity.
So if you wanted to keep your aperture at 2.8, but you didn't want to dim your lights, you would throw a ND filter onto your camera.
They're not expensive.
No, they're like $20 at most.
I think $20 for like a UV filter on mine, which is effectively a screen protector for the lens.
Yes. Yeah.
I have that. Okay, so I don't have an ND filter. I have a UV filter. Interesting.
Yeah, you could replace the UV filter with an ND if you want.
You can put the UV filter on top of your ND filter and protect it.
Yep.
You can stack them up.
Stack them up, baby. But yes, but filming out in the garage is actually, it's been a lot easier just because I have so much more space. I can move the camera around freely. I'm not like wheeling it in between a bunch of stuff. I'm
excited to see your first video out there. I think that's gonna be fun.
Oh, you've been putting out some shorts that look like they come
I've seen it in shorts. But I haven't seen like the full
full video.
Yeah, because I did one for Craig, and then I did a couple for, I was working on 3 for Festival today, and then I was
speaking of Craig,
I wanted to talk about that Craig thing.
Was it planned out to use the Festool drill? Was that like intentional, or was it just the only drill you had?
So no, that was it
really truly wasn't. With the move, I was like, oh, where's like my little mini Milwaukee drill? I couldn't find it.
Really?
No, I couldn't find it. And then I was like, oh my God. So Whitney from Craig had reached out to me. She's like, hey, we want to do something. We're going to get this out to you. It's going to be like last minute though. Are you able to do something for like a last minute launch? And I was like, yeah, sure. I can throw something together. And I went to go make the video because I ended up getting the stuff, like 5-6 days before, maybe even less before the product launch, because it launched on the 31st. And I was like, I can't find my other drill. And then I was like, this will be funny if I use the Festool drill in it. So I like sent it over to her for approval, and she goes, team loved it. They just thought it was very interesting of your drill brand choice, as it is a direct competitor for this product, but it's approved.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was
you must have got comments on that.
I got a couple. But it is
so I think we should, for the benefit of the listeners who have no idea what the hell we're talking about, we should explain what this product is.
Okay. So if you've seen, I think, is it Jessam? I think Jessam makes one that's similar, if not almost the exact same thing. And so basically what it is it's a drilling jig, kind of how you would say like a pocket hole jig is a drilling jig to make joinery. And what it does is you insert these special drill bits, which are effectively like end mills, like almost like a router bit, into your drill. And then it has like a metal collet. You then insert the drill bit into the collet, and then it has this handle that you move back and forth. And every time you go back and forth, it just progresses like a 1/16 of an inch every single time, maybe even less, and effectively makes a loose mortise and tenon joinery, kind of like the Festool domino is. But the idea is that you can make this thing with just your drill, not having to own a Festool domino. So it's called the Craig.
I just pulled it up here. It's the mortise.
How much is it? $300?
Yeah, it's more expensive than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
No
way. Like 150.
I was assuming it was 150.
Let's call a spade. This is a poor man's dominoes, what this is.
Yeah. Because that's like half the price of a domino, isn't it?
Domino's like
$1,000. Domino's like $1,000, yeah.
I don't think I get one.
So I mean, if you compare it to Domino, it's cheap, but for what it is, that's $300 still cheeky.
Okay, I actually think it would have been interesting not knowing the price to take our best stabs at it. I assume, like Deric said,
I would have thought 150, 200
$199 max.
Yeah. I get it. Like it looks like it's like nice hardware. Like it's probably like solid metal. Probably feels.
Oh yeah,
good, right?
it's super nice. It's super beefy and chunky and durable and whatnot. But
well, maybe they priced it high so that they could discount it for Black Friday.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Companies do that sometimes.
But it's nice. It works super well. I mean, it's just like anything else, right? Totally. Is it going to be as fast as the Domino? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But it works extremely well. Like,
yes.
No. Would I use it for an entire project? It depends how many tenons are in there.
As somebody who owns a Domino, can you imagine a scenario where you would ever reach for this over the Domino? Like if you just only had to do like one tenon, would you? I can't imagine when you'd ever need to do just one tenon, but you know what I mean.
The only thing I can think of is I think you can. So it's kind of similar to a pocket hole jig, where on the drill bit itself, it has like an adjustable stop collar for like different thicknesses of material and stuff. I think if you take the stop collar off, you could potentially make a much deeper mortise.
Oh, that's interesting.
Than the Domino, because the Domino, the biggest one you can make on the smaller Domino is a 10 by 50, which is 25 millimeters into each side, which is like 1.5 to 2 inches, something like that.
Yeah,
I think with the mortise mitt, you could potentially get it deeper. I don't know for sure. I haven't tested that, but
looks like the bit for it's pretty long, so I imagine you could.
Yeah,
interesting.
And the dust extraction is incredible on it. I was shocked by that.
Oh, cool.
It works really well.
And it's cordless, ostensibly too, right? So
yeah.
You know, if you wanted to do a mortise out in nature or something like that, it'd probably be a better option than the Domino.
You know, when you're out there mortising trees.
Yeah, exactly. You wanted to build a tree house and you just want to mortise right into the tree.
My only complaint about it is that it's somewhat bulky. I would say it's roughly the size of like a boot, maybe a foot or so long, 6 to 8 inches in height. So it doesn't like pack down, fold up very well. It's very cumbersome storage wise. Like I don't know where you're going to put this thing.
Yeah. But save $700 compared to Domino. So
yeah, that's true. And they make their own tenons and different size cutters and stuff like that. I think it's definitely.
Could you use a Domino? Like, could you use a Festool Domino, or is it something annoying where it's like a different size?
Oh, I didn't try that.
Okay, interesting. Because the Domino, like it or not, it's kind of like an accepted standard at this point. Like you could design subsidiary tools onto the Domino, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, the cutter sizes that it comes with are 6, 8, and 10 millimeter in mortise like height, which is the same as a Domino, because Domino's comes 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10 for the smaller Domino. But I don't know. That would be like sacrilegious. That'd be like putting ketchup in a mustard bottle. But no, it's a neat tool. It's a neat tool.
You know what? Scott really messed up because Scott just did a video about tenons versus Dominoes.
Yeah.
And his whole thing was like he did like time trials of like making it by hand versus making it with a Domino. But now he could have added this thing to the mix. Just
glue it.
Just straight up glue it. You don't need tenons for fancy pants.
No.
YouTubers.
But if Scott was in the know, he would have gotten the Craig thing and then put it in there. But see, now I kind of wish I would have, because truly I do think it's a really cool tool that's innovative, for the time. I kind of wish I would have put that in my holiday tool list because it would have been so new and would have been like people have been like,
"Oh yeah!"
But I already completely filmed the video.
Ah, damn.
I know. But anyway, hey, you know what I did get fired up and tested out? the X-Tool laser cutter.
I saw you posted a short video about that. How was it?
Okay. So as somebody who knows dick about lasers, like I'm going in basically, I plug it in and I'm just like, let's rip it. Right. I know nothing about settings and speeds and calibrating mirrors. I don't even know how to do that. Have I looked up how to do it? No, but I've heard somebody tells me I need to calibrate mirrors. Not even worried about it. So I went in there. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I would think something like that's a little bit more consumer oriented would do that type of stuff automatically. That would be my assumption going into it. I don't know if I'm right.
Yeah. And so from what I tested, it seemed pretty damn calibrated to me. Okay. I didn't notice any issues. So I kind of went on their, it's called X-Tool Creative Space as like their free app or whatever. Gotcha. It's basically like a SVG creator, right? You can drag and drop things around, kind of like you're using like Canva or PowerPoint. And then you can either score, which, to be honest with you, I don't know what
light pass means. With a laser,
something like that. But then there's engrave, and then there's
interesting. Cut. Okay, so engrave, I guess, would just be like very lightly. Score would be like down a little bit, and then cut is like right through.
I don't know. Okay, I haven't gotten that far, but
you call yourself an affiliate of X-Tool.
I went on there and like you basically are like, it's like, hey, what material are you using? And I said 1/4 inch MDF, and then it's like, okay. Here are like the speeds. So basically like a CNC, how fast your router would be traveling forward and back, right?
Yeah.
And then you can also do power, which I'm assuming is like the intensity of the laser. It gives you recommendations for both of those.
Okay.
And then I just pressed play. I basically I literally didn't know what I was doing. Dude, it came out perfectly.
Okay. So your first cut, did you cut all the way through it?
Yeah.
Did you do it in one pass or multiple passes?
Did it in one pass.
Really? It cut through 1/4 inch in a single pass?
Yeah.
Did it make a lot of smoke?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything to compare it against. If I had to just look in the capsule and be like, is that a lot of smoke? Is it no smoke? I would say 4.5 out of 10.
Okay. But it didn't, what did like your garage, did it like fill up your garage with smoke, or is it got a little like,
so it has an exhaust fan and then like a long, almost like dryer vent, but it's nylon or something like that. So it's very accordion-like, right? It's very flexible. I basically just popped open my garage door like an inch or two and then put the pipe underneath the garage door. Garage is fine.
Okay. So
how long did it...
Go ahead, Deric.
I was gonna say, how long did it take to make that cut?
If I cut out something that was approximately the size of a laptop, so 12 inches by 12 inches, and then I had some circles and stuff in it. 1.5 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So you didn't speed that video up hardly at all.
Not really.
Yeah.
Okay. That company X-Tool, they make like a filter system or something, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Did you get one of those or no?
Fire extinguisher. No, they.
Okay.
I was talking them down about what they wanted, and basically they're just like, well, we can give you the machine, but if you want any additional accessories, we'll talk about other things. I was like, yeah, that's fine, whatever.
Okay. I mean, hey, you do one video and then I don't know if they were like do like a video for each of the accessories, I'd be like, yeah, all right, fine, whatever. Like it's kind of a little extractor thing is kind of neat, or like a filter thing is kind of neat. You can make a video on that,
right?
If you care.
But so then again, me knowing nothing about lasers, right? I was like, I usually make like woodworking templates out of 1/2 inch MDF, right? I was like, let's toss that in there.
Hell yeah.
So I go into like the material selection thing and I'm like, there's no 1/2 inch MDF.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I was like, well, here are the settings I had for 1/4 inch MDF.
Yeah.
Why don't I just slow the speed down?
Okay. Yeah.
And like, so basically, it would have more time to like get the laser to work through. Again, I know nothing about lasers. Ran that many a times, and I could just barely get through the MDF where I could see an outline on the bottom of it.
Okay.
But the sides were just charred and burned to all hell.
Okay. Interesting.
Then looked it up online, and everybody was like, yeah, you cannot cut that thick of material on a more entry level, if you will, medium to entry level laser. You would need like a much more industrial one, like a 240 volt laser to be able to do stuff like that. But
so what do you think the limit is? 3/8?
I don't know. But MDF is also super, super dense too. Keep that in mind, right?
True.
So you might be able to cut through like some softer woods.
What about plywood? Plywood denser or less dense?
I don't know.
I guess
but either way, like if you're making templates and just using 1/4-inch MDF or 1/4-inch ply to make templates, that works just fine. This is plenty of surface for your bearing to ride against.
Yeah, true. Or use I have a bunch of these big acrylic sheets that I got for a job. I guess you could use one of those too, right?
Yeah, it came with some test acrylic, but I've not used it yet. But yeah, no, all in all, dude, I was like, the laser surpassed my expectations. It's easier to use than I would have thought. And I think you're going to be seeing me use it in things.
Okay. What about, does it have like some sort of fancy system where it has like a camera in it that tells you where the thing, like say you want to engrave something, you want to like engrave the back of your phone. Yeah. If you put your phone in there, it'll just like automatically detect where it is.
It's a great question. So in the software, when you're like editing your SVGs or creating your whatever, you press this button that says like image capture. And it basically, so you'd open it up, and let's say you didn't put your piece of wood like perfectly 90 or whatever in there. You'd open up the lid, put it in there, purposely put it askew. You press image capture, and then when you're creating your SVG, your image or whatever, on the canvas, it actually superimposes the photo of what's inside the machine on there. So you could be like, oh, I need to rotate this a little bit.
Yeah.
It's super, super, I mean, intuitive and friendly. Like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I might start geeking out over engraving things. I might just engrave everything.
I know. Well, see, that's what was pissing me off is I was working on so many different things that I was like, okay, I have to get this video out. I got to do this. But I was like, I want to play around with this more. Like, I want to take a day, not film anything, and just like, what does this do? What does this do?
Yeah.
How about this setting? How about this? Yeah. I actually had a bunch of people reach out to me with a lot of super helpful information. They're like, there's a setting on there that you can basically do like a grid of test cuts. So it's like, here's what 5% power looks like. Here's what 10%.
Oh, yeah.
15, that 20. Would be handy.
So then you have this cue card almost where you're like, oh, MDF, and I'm making this up. My ideal setting is 75% power at 30 millimeters per second or whatever.
Yeah, that gives me like the nicest cut line.
Yeah.
Shooting through the 1/4-inch MDF, is there any like blade deflection, or is it like if you put a square on that edge, is it perfectly straight, or is there like a little bit of a taper to it?
That's a great question, and I didn't test that. That's one of the things I want to screw around with is like really dial it in. I want to learn every single setting in that software because I know you can do multiple passes. You can do like refocus the laser after each pass. You can do like offset focus, and basically where it thinks your material's at one spot, but it's actually going to focus above or below that spot. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I really want to test out, but so far, I'm pretty impressed with that thing.
Okay, one last question, and then we should probably gear up for the old after show, the BYOC event.
Yeah.
What's the Z-axis limit on that bad boy? Like, how thick of a thing could you put in there and still cut on it? Or
can I park my hood of my truck under it?
Yeah.
It says it can cut up to 20 millimeters thick.
Okay, but I've seen people like engrave Yeti tumblers and stuff like that. Is there any way you could get a tumbler in there?
P2 Max Z-axis height.
I know they had like a weird accessory thing, like a riser.
2.7 inches.
Okay, that's not bad. Not bad. I don't know if you get a tumbler in there, but
I'm pretty sure. But I've seen people have.
Yeah, but the bed comes out of it, doesn't it? Like there's like a little surface, and they probably take that out for that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because I think that's where the connection point is when you put in like a rotating thing for like a Yeti tumbler and all that kind of stuff like that. But
interesting.
Pretty neat. I don't know if they're having Black Friday sales.
I'm on their site right now. They are.
If you're going to get one, let me know. I'll hit you with the affiliate code.
Oh, hell yeah. Which one did you get? The P2S? P2? I
got the P2, but I guess the P2S just came out. And my understanding is the P2S has a stronger fume extraction, like fan motor thing.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
How much is it? Like 3,000?
P2S is 4,000, I think, and then the P2 is 37. Not really that much of a difference to P2S. Extra $500.
I'm sorry. What's the difference of the P2S?
That I'm not sure of. I'd have to scroll through. I'd just basically be reading the product page real slowly. You guys would all see how illiterate I am. It'd be very embarrassing for me.
But anyway, it's sweet. I want to get the fire safety thing, which I guess is some sort of like fire extinguisher in there. And then,
it like floods the chamber with CO2 or something, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Auto fire detection fire extinguisher.
So does it not have like at least a fire detector in there of any sort?
I have no idea.
I gotta get one of these.
It's sick. I'm telling you. I'm gonna
hit you up after showing you. Send me the person's contact.
It's one of those where they say they're one name, but the email address has nothing to do with the name of the person that they say they are. So it's like
yes, that is pretty typical when dealing with Chinese brands.
Yeah, it is what it is. But it's sweet.
All right, cool.
Speaking, where's my mouse? Speaking of sweet, we are going to head over to the BYOC live hangout with our patrons and top tier patrons night. We do this once a month. We've got Joe Welsh at Delaware Valley Workshop, Goblin Spanker, Corey Duvall, Josh at Sawdust Builds, and rumor has it Dadu is locked in tonight because his debit card is actually working. And not that I wanted to save it till right to the end of the show. We've got a new patron this week.
Ooh. What?
Yeah.
You can tell me.
Tim Bulger.
Bulger? B-U-L-G-E-R?
B-O-L.
Okay.
Hardly know her.
We gotta start asking people if they're cool with us saying their full names on here.
It's not like I'm not going to be like, well, he actually lives in Hartford, Connecticut, on 176 Maple Lane Drive.
True.
How funny would that be? I mean, you have a better chance of winning March Madness bracket. If me just making that up, he was like, "You son of a bitch! That is my
you doxed me.
Stop sending me magazine subscriptions."
Reminder to everybody at home: you can register with whatever name you want.
That's right.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is this pops up is like the people who do the Peloton classes or whatever.
Yes.
I guess there's something where like if you have the most points during a Peloton thing, they like read your name or something like that. Yeah. Oh, those are good.
Yeah. They're like, keep on going, Mike Hunt. And they're like, damn it. They got me.
Dan Gleasack. But anyway, huge shout out to Tim Bulger and our returning top tier patrons, as well as all of our other patrons. No after show tonight because we are heading over to the BYOC live call and check in with you guys soon.
One quick note before before the show ends.
The Green Sears podcast sucks. Yeah,
that as well. No, I wanted to give Dadu a shout out because he just finished my brand new website. So if you want to see a bit of Dadu's handiwork, you go to zachbuilds.com. And it's still like she's out. He's done everything that he needs to do. I have to now update it with new content. So if there's any rough edges, it's my fault, not his.
Okay, so he's got you kind of like the boilerplate, and now you need to go and add your little teaspoon of paprika.
Well, he imported all the content from my old site, but that site hadn't been updated in like 2 years. So I need to get out there and put some new content out.
Like the podcast episode or website.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we still own the Green Sears podcast domain?
Should.
I believe I do own that domain, greensuiters.com.
That makes me think. I'm pretty sure I've got domains that need updated soon.
So what OnlyFans does the Green Suiters point to?
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know. Vic from the Stump Shop has got an OnlyFans for his calves.
That's pretty sweet. That makes sense, though.
Vic's calves.
Yeah.
Look it up. I think he's got an Instagram page, too.
Really?
Vic's calves, yeah.
Disappointed to find out it's actually cows.
Yeah. Anyway, this is getting off the rails. Before we get too crazy, I say we call tonight and head over to the BYOC call.
Sounds good to me.
Hell yeah, brother. See you dogs later. Oh.
Later.